Welcome to this short marketing short on our mini projects for this course. I want to take a few minutes to explain this so that there's a lot of clarity around it and you know what the expectations are and you have some details about what the projects are. You'll see in the syllabus that this semester we are doing 2 mini projects and each project is worth 60 points. So it's a total of 120 points. So it's about 60% of a test grade. So they're not as big they're not as big as a test, as an exam. They're not as big as the personal marketing plan, but they are worth a good chunk of points. So it's wise to take them seriously and do your best. So let me share my screen real quick in this video, and we can take a quick look at the expectations and where you could find that content on Blackboard. Okay, so you can see here on our screen that we have our normal Blackboard site. This is my view, but you should see something similar when you log into Blackboard. And so we can go over here we're going to go to assignments to find the information for the mini projects. If you click assignments, here we have all of the the assignments that have to be turned in that are outside of the chapter modules. So here, you can see this is where you're going to turn in the personal marketing plan, where you're going to turn in the elevator pitch. If you scroll down, you'll see each of the mini projects right here, 1 and 2. I've included the guidelines in both of those, so you have easy access to them. And so each project is a 3 to 5 page paper. There's some formatting information in here as to, what size of font and the margins and all of those sorts of things, making sure you tell me which project you're picking. And so the idea behind these projects is to be able to apply some of what you're learning in the class in some way. Okay, and so each project, so there are some projects that might take a little bit less work. There are some that might take a little bit more work. That's definitely considered in the grading process. And like it says here that, for most projects, there are really 2 levels of analysis. One where you're describing something, okay? Details is about what you did or the research that you did. And then the second level is in the analysis, evaluating what you did, evaluating the research that you did and interview that you did based on what you're learning in the class and in the textbook. Okay, so you definitely want to incorporate terminology from the textbook that you're learning through the class, through the videos and through the textbook. So I highly recommend adding in that terminology. It just makes it really it helps with the clarity for me to see how you're applying what you're learning in class to these projects. Okay. So you are going to do 2 projects this semester, and you'll see that there are different sections here within the instructions. And so you're not picking 2 per section, okay, or 1 per section or anything like that. There are a total of 17, I believe, ideas here, or 17 projects that you could do. You will pick 2 projects from the 17. Okay. You will not pick you will not pick the only qualification to that or restriction is that you cannot pick both projects from the same section. So for example, you could select number 1 from the introduction and number 4 from big data and research. What you cannot do is pick number 1 from the introduction and pick number 2 from the introduction. Okay, they need to come from different sections. So here you can see in the introduction, this to some extent follows the textbook in terms of the different broader topics. Okay, so you could see in the introduction, we're talking about competitive advantages and distinctive competencies. We're talking about green marketing or sustainability that we talked about in chapter 2, a SWOT analysis that we talked about in chapter 3. Then chapters 4 and 5 is where you're looking at research and data. So that's this section, and where you're looking at different types of marketing research methods, excuse me, interviewing consumers about their experiences with market research, doing garbology. on your own trash or your friend's trash. This is kind of a fun one that a lot of students like to do, looking at the Internet of Things and talking about that with some consumers and seeing what they think, looking at rewards programs from different companies, and how that is relates to CRM that we talk about in the textbook, and in chapter 5. And then we get into consumer behavior, again, kind of following the textbook. Okay, and so here we're looking at target consumers, target markets, and what their behavior is, how we could describe them in terms of consumer behavior, positioning for the university as the company, again, all in the consumer behavior area, and then a few within the marketing mix. So that we haven't gotten to that unit yet. That comes in later in Unit 2 and in Unit 3. But as we get into the marketing mix, those are our 4 Ps that we talk about at the very beginning of class: our product, our place, our promotion, and our pricing. Okay, so again, so just a few ideas here. So looking at an idea for a new product, co-branding, looking at different categories of products, and the packaging that's related to that. Actually going to the grocery store and I'm doing some observation there, um, and doing some research online, on Twitter, or you could use another social media site if you would like in this one. And then the last one is on the marketing profession itself. And this one is just to go interview a marketer and better understand what are all the kinds of things that you can do when you go into marketing. What are the roles of a marketing manager or a marketing specialist or someone who's in social media or digital media, or is in product design, anyone that has a job that is within the things that we've talked about in this class, all the 4 Ps, understanding customers, advertising, etc. Okay. Interviewing someone who's in marketing and asking them about, how do they decide to get into marketing? Do they have advice for people who are interested in marketing? What are they seeing as really like important trends that are in marketing? Things of that nature. There's some things here that I ask you specifically to ask about, but with any of these, you are definitely allowed some flexibility and some creativity, to take it beyond what is stated here. And then the last thing, real short, quickly, is that if you have an idea, if you've seen something in the textbook that you thought was interesting, that you'd like to explore more, or something in one of the outside of the textbook, but as we have all the different pieces of different media, podcasts and videos and articles and such that are in the modules, if one of those sparked your interest and you have another idea for a mini project that you would like to do, I am always open to adding to this list, or having a project that's just for you, that more relates to your interest in marketing, than just some things that I came up with or other students have come up with in the past, that were interesting to them or to me. So this is a great way to take all the terminology that we're learning and apply it through research, through interviewing and talking to consumers, through observing in retail stores, through talking to marketers and better understanding the profession. And so I'm excited to see what you guys choose and what you come up with, and the research that you do, and what the consumers say. And so I'm excited to see what you discover through these mini projects. So if you have any questions regarding these, please let me know. Just shoot me an email, or you can email me through Blackboard, or directly through email through directly to my email address. And so that really wraps up the mini project. So you'll just turn in mini project number 1 here. You'll turn in mini project number 2 here. There's no differences in the guidelines that are posted, but I wanted them to be on both assignments, just so you had them in both places and it was clear that it was the same. Again, you're going to pick 2 projects from this list of 17, and not one from each section, 2 total out of the 17 options. And they need to come from different sections of the ideas. Again, if you have any other ideas for projects you would just like to do, as an addition, or instead of one of the ones that's on the list, let me know and we'll talk about it and see if we can find a way to make that work. And then finally, in terms of the, excuse me, in terms of the due dates, click over here. And just as a reminder, we are using the dates to stay on track system instead of the hard deadlines in the most cases. And so that is the case for the mini project. So I have updated this a little bit due to some medical issues that my family was going through last week. I wanted to, and me not having a voice, which was crazy, wanted to make sure that we had an opportunity for you to get this video before you started on the project. So here are, you can see here the schedule. We're just going to find our date to stay on track. So for mini project number 1, the date to stay on track is October 13th. And then the second project is November 3rd. Again, remember that these are dates to stay on track. I am getting a lot of questions about due dates. If it has this designation, DTSOT, I don't know. I don't have a better, more fun abbreviation unless you come up with one. But if you see this dates to stay on track designation on the course calendar, all that is a recommended deadline. I recommend that you finish it by that and can, submit it by that time. And that just helps to keep you, that helps to keep you on track, because I want you to have, one of the amazing things about online courses is that it allows for more flexibility with jobs and other obligations that you may have. So I want you to have like maximum flexibility, as much flexibility as possible, while also having some structure around that, and some guidelines to help you stay on track. Because as much as I want you to have flexibility, I don't want you to get down here to December where we have the hard deadlines, okay, of December 4th for all the modules and these projects. I really don't want you to get to there this last week here and be panicking and cramming because you didn't follow the dates to stay on track. With that said, if you're a couple weeks ahead or behind, that's okay. You shouldn't stress out if you haven't turned everything in by that date to stay on track, because that's all it is. It's just a recommendation to help you stay on track. If you're not completely on track, that is okay. It is not, I would not stress about it. I would just keep trying to work through it as logically and systematically as you can. Trying to dedicate, just set aside some time, whether that's every Tuesday or every Monday, or it's 15 minutes a day, whatever you can get done. You're gonna figure it out. We're gonna work it out. And if you are getting down into November and you're feeling a lot of stress, let's talk. Okay. And we could put together a plan for you to catch up on wherever you're at. We'll figure out a plan that will help you stay organized to get back on track. I'm always happy to work with you individually to set up individualized, customized, recommended dates based on wherever you're at in the class right now or whenever it is. Okay, so that's a brief description of the mini projects. I'll just make one last note on this video. The personal marketing plan hard deadline is, let's see if I could do this. There we go. It's right over there. Okay. November 21st, it is a hard deadline. Okay. One of the things that students consistently say, that if they could give students advice in this class, what the way they tell them, they consistently say to start on the personal marketing plan before the week before it's done. It is not something that you can do in one night before the night before that it's actually due. So I would recommend that you just go ahead and take a look at it and see what's required. That is something that if you spent 15 minutes a day on it, or you said Monday, Wednesday, Friday, whatever your schedule is, and you scheduled a little bit of time every other day, every day, every Tuesday, whatever, that you will be able to build on that. And you can do it in those short segments of time instead of trying to cram everything in at the end. Okay. Again, if you have any questions, just email me or stop by my office hours, Mondays from 3 to 5. I'm also usually in my office on Wednesdays from 3 to 5, but it's not the official time. So that's usually when I have other meetings or appointments that I've scheduled, but you're always welcome to stop by. I'm located in the George on the second floor. by the water fountains towards the end of the hall. All right. Thanks, everyone, and have a great day.